All right, I'm going to take some notes on this article that I read inside the Final Call titled Traitors in the U.S. All right, so it talks about how the U.S. is a country with a long, ugly history of surveillance and infiltration on social justice movements. Pause, because right there we already know we can think of some notable ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, people like that, who've been proven that it was some infiltration within their ranks or some betrayal within their ranks. But the people that betrayed them later on, it came out that those people weren't even actual members. Came out that those people weren't even actual members. Came out that those people weren't even actual members, or they was members, but they was working with the government at the same exact time. So it goes on to say, individuals who express dissent and takes part in political or social activism can expect to be targeted. That's a fact. I feel like anybody that is going against a system that is typically, or not as typically, that's been used for years and years to kind of keep a certain demographic oppressed, when people start to talk about it and come out against that, more notably, they're going to start looking at you and saying, like, trying to see who you are. So yeah, obviously, they also mentioned how most of the time the spies and the agents, their majority, they're paid agents. They're getting paid to do this. And it even mentioned an Ohio chapter of CHAIR, which is the Council of American and / Islamic Relations, recently found out that it had a spy within its midst. So that's pretty interesting. It was actually a former executive and legal director. His name was Roman Iqbal. One of those, I don't know. Civil rights advocates have been targeted for decades. We already know, from Martin Luther King to Malcolm X to Fred Hampton to even Harriet Tubman. Like, it's so many people that went against a power and a structure, and they obviously died. Those who stand for justice have constantly been targeted by those who stand for injustice. That's a fact. It's even said that Christian Muhammad, a chairman of the New Black Panther, told Final Call that black Muslims and progressive groups have always been targeted by the government espionage. So that's just a little like sneak peek of the chapter. I just wanted to go over it because I thought it was pretty interesting, especially in the light of last week I talked about how the Nation of Islam did not kill Malcolm X, but there's still people that still believe that they did. So I just like to put things like this out so it can kind of get people perspective on just other types of groups that also have been infiltrated in surveillance and pretty much they divided it and they conquered it, you know what I'm saying? And most groups from the 80s and the 70s, they're no longer around anymore because they were conquered by the government.